down Blizzard. I think Blizzard was unsure that Epic Whale was there and fully got to take advantage of that elimination. So good call out on Clay's part, talking about the day 2 progression here for Epic Whale and Arkham, because it really is a good point.
Yeah, but this might be the time you might want to disengage. And they don't know it, but we do. That's the first place team that's been performing well almost throughout 8 games so far. They've gotten a victory royale at the very minimum, so setting themselves up for a great finish here, but they have to go through Epic and Arkham if they want to continue to traverse on this side. Otherwise, they're going to have to choose a different route, backtrack on out of there, and go somewhere else.
I'm going to play a little bit of a different storyline for you, right? I think Epic Whale and Arkham need this fight, and they should take
I agree.
it. Imagine the point difference they could make if they get the eliminations there onto Pars. Like, that is a huge turn there. That'll remove them potentially from that first spot and allow for more teams to climb. So if you're them, obviously you don't know it's them, but if you're them, you need that engagement to take place.
Nate and Frappi not slowing down. They got that early elimination, I do believe, onto Wale, and they know this game is definitely gets stacked. Surge is so important for these teams to get early. You said it yourself. Once you get the Storm Surge early, the tags that you need, that allows you to play a little bit safer, get into the position, get the high ground, and go ahead and block any opportunity from players trying to get in the zone or trying to get into a spot that could rival yours. You see Frappi and Nate just taking that moment, get their shields back up, but a team is slowly but surely might be trying to hunt them down.
Yeah, slowly but surely on the prowl here. You see these teams coming out of nowhere, right? They're trying to make sure they can get these early game engagements, and now they have a huge advantage here onto Nate and Frappe. With them on the low ground here, it's super easy for this other team to get tags, but no, they decided, it looks like, to disengage, and Nate and Frappe may be safe here.
Yep, maybe safe for now. We're going to check in with them a little bit later to see if they survived all that chaos. Second place team, Favs and Snacky, just trying to mat up, get themselves a good spot in towards zone. And you see Favs is the first NA West player with a VR in both Duo FNCS finals. That shows he has experience, and that's why they're in the position. We talked about the Rockies semifinals performance, needing that victory royale in this 6th and final game. They've definitely changed everything up in this finals lobby.
Yeah, speaking of teams changing it up, look at this. It's Frappe and Vanilla's going at it in the vehicle. This is after Wale was taken out, and sure enough, Frappe going to get the advantage of Vanilla's. You love to see when there's a little bit more interesting things taking place in an engagement like that.
Yep, second time we've seen Kinzo and Caleb kind of set up around this spot. This is where they're trying to take advantage of a lot of those southern teams trying to rotate towards the zone now. They spot out Remy and Beast, trying to keep their distance, not shoot too early, and that's a disciplined trigger finger from a passive team that shows that they've perfected their gameplay, finally taking the shots that they want. That's going to be a couple onto Remy as they go ahead and hiding back into that bush. I think they're going to rotate on out, but another team, Epic, Psyrazor, and Nigo landing towards that side spot. You know, for them, it's just all about positioning.
It's all about positioning. And for me, it's all about this name. I always get Psyrazor's name wrong. And so I'm going to make sure that I take the time and not get this wrong again. Psyrazor and Nico doing a great job here. They need this game. They need a lot of games here to continue to reach up. Because, again, the more placements you go up, like once you get in the top 10, 10th place is 4,000, 9th place is 6,000, and that number just continues to go up. So a top 10 performance from this team is huge because there is so much money, life-changing money on the line.
Yeah, you can see, I think that was defiable in school. They're trying to hold Arkham and Epic outside of the zone. They're going to try to use those barrels, the Vibesy and Slixy, who's just living on a prayer. But Vibesy's going to have the brunt force of this work to do and tries to alleviate the pressure, but Slixy is still being pressured by Frappi as him and Nate reunite for that short moment, whereas Vibesy and Slixy are trying to do that same exact thing. 3 med kits, a shield keg, more than enough to get Slixy in a healthy manner. It's just, it looks like they're just trying to disengage, get out of this spot and travel to the zone. But Frappi and Nate, you know how aggressive they like to get. They're not going to let this one go easy.
No, they're not. And honestly, looking at the position that Vibesy's in, not a lot of ammo to work with across the board. So needs to be super careful as Frappe is trying to get the advantage. This is all just moments after they kind of took some shots at them. You know what I mean? So, so Frappe and Nate said, you know what? You're not just going to take shots at us and get away scot-free. So that's why you see them diving in here, trying to take advantage of these players. Does end up getting in the box, but unfortunately, the other player, it is Vibesy, gets away. Shots exchanging. Frappe not looking the healthiest. Is going to have to stop and heal a little bit here. But Slixy now going up against Nate. Nate by himself here. It was almost a 2v1 situation. Nate really needs to be careful in a situation like that.
Yeah, I like the way Vibes is down low, just going to continuously alleviating that pressure. But Slixy is unable to get that med kit off because of Frappe and Nate continuously knocking at his front door. As you see Storm Surge beginning to be a prevalent thing once again. They're 656 above.
Wow.
They don't even need this. And look at the minimap. Another team threatening to third party this exchange and go ahead and take advantage of their positioning. But Frappe and Nate, they sense that one coming, see them towards the high ground. They're going to try and disengage and make their own journey to the circle.
Yeah, and you see it's actually Russo and co. over there on the high ground, and the focus ended up shifting towards Vibesy. That is the worst thing that could have happened, right? I don't think Vibesy knew that they were up there, and they started to rotate there with the Spider-Man web shooters, and unfortunately, that was like a huge red dot on their forehead for Russo and co. to just start focusing them. But now, a team that's not being focused, it's Salty and Crew Yor. They have a wall open here looking for those tags, but you got to be careful, because if you leave that wall open for too long, you'll end up being the focus from another player.
Yeah, just waiting for those opportunities. And we've seen it almost all day long, especially when you're way above. But they're peaking right now, Panda, because they're only 53 above. It's something that's in the back of their mind, regardless of it's going to be a threat here or later, as Caleb and Kinzo, they're going to be 60 above. Rexy and Dynamic, they're going to be 68 below. They're trying to put the pressure on the Tavern and Cause, but there's also another duo there, so they have options. I do believe that might be Slicks and Day, as they're just continuously trying to put the pressure, going as quick as one below. You see them drop back down to 22 as they continuously trying to put those shots out. Salty, though, and Jordan have very little to worry about. Went from 50 to 104. They're finding their necessary tags. Rexy and Dynamic, they got what they wanted, but they want even more as they got the knock onto Slick. This is where they're going to try to break down the covers and then go ahead and bring them into their box, but Slick was able to get his teammate back up, so they're going to just engage from this fight because they got what they wanted.
Well, and you have to think, too, going through Dynamic and Rexy's head, they're like, okay, look, we're top 10, right? We're probably in 6th place right now, right? If we don't take these kind of risky plays, we can continue to climb. But speaking of risky plays, it's Caleb and Kenzo here, top 3 situation, finding themselves kind of struggling here in this engagement, to say the least.
And bouncing around. Kinzo is able to get one onto par. That's a big elimination. That's one half of the first place team. And look at the elimination feed. I don't know where, I don't know how, but Arkham is continuing the comeback story. But can they continue it overall throughout the course of these games? 427 above, drop down to 388. Kinzo and Caleb have very, very little to worry about. The only thing is getting the health and shield back on up, because they have a quest towards the circle as they're so far off.
Yeah, Ray's not necessarily in the best position as a solo player, but looking to continue to hold that top spot. Again, $45,000 on the line for them. That is huge, life-changing money here. So you know the patience and the methodical thinking is going to come through here. But kind of the opposite thinking. It's the aggression that we know and love from Snacky and Fabs here coming out, as they do only have one elimination as of right now. But
yeah, everybody knows these eliminations will slowly but surely come to you. Later on, this game goes, and everybody's kind of stacked up here. You see Slixy and Vibe kind of disengaging Russo and Winter, and kind of allowing and alleviating that pressure. Not on purpose, but that's the way Fortnite works sometimes. When that third party comes in, you go ahead and use that as an opportunity to try and escape. Get out. We see Dynamic positioning, setting up on the rock just to refresh the used mats. And as this one slows down, we got some replays for you. We got to keep the action going, and who better to keep the action going with than Fabs and Snacky. Fabs dropped down to only 38 HP, so a much-needed siphon and refresh for them. And you can kind of see the battle we were already watching. Dynamic and Rexy, 6th place, battling for more, getting another grouping of resources they can use for their journey.
They really can, and that's why it's so important to play pretty patient here in these next few moments, right? You got the early game aggression out, you got some tags, you got an elimination or two, right? Now it's about focusing on the occasional tag and being safe in position in zone. That's what you see here from Raze. Raze actually doing a decent job there of rotating without too much focus on him. Does find his way into zone, and you see the way that he builds out.
Yep.
Slightly from desperation from those shots coming in, but also with the awareness that he needs to be more or less acting like a duo instead of just a solo player.
Yep, well said. Great point. But the thing is still on the edge of zone. You see Caleb and Kinzo, that slow passive game. They're always looking towards the backside, making sure nobody sneaks up for free. Even though it has happened a few times, nobody's perfect. In this one, it's Favs and Snacky. We saw them in that replay and looking healthy as can be. Thanks to that refresh, great mats, and that was Snacky was able to pick up that elimination. They have a launch pad as well, so not too much to worry in terms of rotation. So they're looking good, but our first place team, not so much. Raze pressure is on 34 HP. It might actually be 38, so a little bit better than I initially thought, but not by much.
Not by much. Left here, despite it being only 38 HP, surprisingly holding on. But my one concern is not necessarily the players close by, it's the surge that could potentially affect the way that this game plays out for him. If he does not have enough damage, it's not just going to be Wanks and Yi-Yan pushing through, but no, as I say it, Caster Curse yet again, Yi-Yan diving in and taking it out, our first place team. This is great news if you're Snacky and Favs, right? This means all the points you're putting on the board here is just going to get you closer and closer to that top spot, even potentially taking over that top spot there. So huge game incoming, especially considering another top 5 team left as a solo player in Salty.
That was the biggest blessing for everybody below them on the leaderboard. Obviously in first, so it's the entirety of the lobby. I do believe they went out in 34th, maybe 35th place. It may not be accurate, but it goes to show it's early. It's so as you kind of see, he's just in shambles, not looking the best. Only 9 medium bullets, 178 light, no heals, mind you, 23 HP, and a dream that he's trying to keep alive.